no guarantees, no promises. Some of those plants are wacky, weird, wild, and out there. Hey guys, have you been gifted a plant? Have you been given plant cuttings or gone to your local nursery, or local big box stores are actually notorious for this, and found mislabeled plants or have plants that you have no idea what the heck they are, and you need to identify them. You need to figure out what they are, because you can't properly take care of a plant if you don't know what it is. There's just no way. Let's get into it. Let's figure it out. Also, I am Lauren. I am that awkward plant girl. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to tell you 8 different ways today on how to figure out what the heck kind of plant it is. So let's do it. All right. Option number 1, it's pretty simple. When you're in the store or when the person gives you a plant, you just ask what it is. It's not rude. Everyone that knows plants knows and understands. They might not know if they're gifting it to you, otherwise they would have told you. But if you're in a big box store or even a nursery and you're shopping for a plant and you pick one up and you don't know what it is, it's okay to ask. And if they don't know, then we go on to option number 2 and we try to figure it out, okay? Option number 2 is going to be going to the website. So if you're shopping in a plant nursery or you're shopping in a big box store and you pick up a plant and you don't know what it is, it's okay. You can go onto their website and see what they have. 9 times out of 10, something that is not labeled is going to be an older plant or a plant that just came in. So if it just came in, then you're just going to go to the New Plants tab, and then you'll figure it out there. Most of the time, if it's been there for a while, you can tell by whatever label is on it. If it's been worn down, then chances are it's been there for a while. If it's on clearance, then chances are it's been there for a while. And the website might not have it on there, and then you'll have to use other methods to figure it out. Okay, so that leads us to option number 3. All right, option number 3, you can ask Google. I know it sounds crazy, but you can literally ask Google. You just use Google Lens and you take a picture of the plant and leaves. You have to make sure that you have, good lighting, good angle of the leaves. You want to get the leaves and the stem in there, or it's not going to pull up very much for you at all. A lot of times it is going to be inaccurate in what it says. Hear me out. I know it sounds weird. Okay. The first thing it pulls up may not match what your plant is, but it's pulling up stuff that looks like your plant. So if you scroll down just a little bit, you can find which one looks the most like your plant and dive into it from there. You can do your own research from there. Like for me, I had a Maranta and I couldn't figure out what the heck kind of Maranta it was. It just said Calathea on the front of it. So, which it's silly because it was totally mislabeled. So I had to go and I had to figure out which one it was. So I took a picture of the leaves and used Google Lens and I scrolled down and I was able to find it. And then I figured out the answer from there. And then I could go and research the type of plant it is and then give it the care that it needed. And now it's flourishing happily. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right up there. But it's super happy now because I was able to figure out what it was. So, you can definitely give this a shot yourself. It's not going to give you direct immediate answer 9 times out of 10, but it's better than nothing and you'll get closer to where you need to be with it. Okay, option number 4, you can ask Bixby or Siri, similar with the Google Lens, but it gives a little bit more of, I feel it's a little more accurate depending on the type of plant. At least for Bixby anyway. I don't know about Siri. I'm just including Siri because a lot of people have iPhones. I go the Samsung route. My husband is the Apple product fan. Yeah, it's a war in our house, trust me. Anyway, but if you guys use Siri, just let me know. Comment below and tell me how Siri works for you. Bixby does pretty well for me as far as figuring out plants go. I just tested it just for the fun of it on my Calathea medallion and it came up pretty well, pretty easily. So there is that, okay? And if you're not 100% sure that the Bixby or Siri figured it out for you and you're not really 110% sure on that identification, then you can use one of these other methods to double check and to verify that, okay? Option number 5 is going to be similar to the last two. There are various apps that you can just download really quick, and then you log in and you make a profile, blah, blah, blah. And then you can just take a picture on various apps, and it will sometimes identify the plant and sometimes not. It's kind of hit or miss, but again, it might bring up something similar for you, and then you can figure it out from there. The ones that have been recommended to me are Planta, PlantNet, and Picture This. Don't quote me on this, they're just the most highly recommended ones. Comment down below and let me know if this will help you. I can go ahead and make profiles and download a whole bunch of those apps and test them out for you, and I can make a separate video about that. But I did just want to let you know in this video that it is an option for you to go ahead and download an app and take pictures. I can tell you what your mystery plant is that way. The next thing you can use to try to figure out what the heck your mystery plant is you can go on social media. There's a whole bunch of social media platforms and you can ask on there. You can ask a whole bunch of different plant experts and plant fans and plant lovers and just all the planty people that love the planty awesomeness, people like you and me. And you can ask them what the heck kind of plant this is. There's no shame in it. Not everybody knows what plant it is. And some people might recognize it right away. Like there's a lot of ferns that as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's blah, blah, blah. And then they move on with their lives and they're happy and now they know how to care for it. Or they'll ask me how to care for it. Or there are begonias that I'm just like, oh my God, I'm dying over this begonia. So I'll post and I'll ask on Instagram, what the heck kind of plant this is? The different social media platforms, I should probably bring that up. Sorry, rambling again. The different social media platforms that you can use are Facebook. You can join the Facebook groups and there's a whole bunch of the plant lovers in there for you. The next one I would recommend would be Instagram. You can just post up and ask on your Instagram, you know, or you can use the hashtag what plant is this, and people will actually search out that hashtag to help other people answer it. I do it all the time. You can tag me on Instagram at that awkward plant girl. I'll have it listed in the description below for you. I'll be happy to help you. No guarantees, no promises. Some of those plants are wacky, weird, wild, and out there, and look so similar to other plants. So sometimes it's just a texture feel, but you can still figure out the various options. You can use Reddit. There's so many brilliant people on Reddit. I have learned so much on Reddit. But you just join the various houseplant groups there and they're happy to help you. They are 110% happy to help you. Last social media app that you want to get on if you can't figure out what your plant is, or if you just have a little bit of information with it, you can actually go on Pinterest. So like, for example, when I was trying to figure out what kind of Maranta that one was, I went on Pinterest and I just typed in Maranta and I scrolled on down until I found the one that looked like that, and then I was able to double check and verify that that's exactly what it was. Because you never want to use just one source. You always want to go and use multiple sources to double check, because plant leaves can look so similar. Does that make sense? That probably sounds a little weird. But the foliage on them can look very, very similar to other plants. There is a peperomia that looks exactly like the Pilea peperomoides. And if someone is standing there looking at both of them, it's very hard to tell the difference between the two. They're almost identical. So you really have to feel and be able to tell the difference. And sometimes that's not something that you can tell through a picture. You have to see it in person. So there's just certain little leaf shapes or certain little bits of stem, or it's really hard. Sometimes there'll be specific markings. You'll see like the philodendron splash versus the philodendron silver or something like that, and then you'll see how they look super similar, but if you put them right next to each other, you can tell which one is which. The heartleaf philodendron versus the green jade pothos is another one that looks very, very similar. So until I saw a leaf description and I was able to feel my plants, then I was able to tell that it was a heartleaf philodendron that was gifted to me as cuttings versus it was definitely not a pothos because it wasn't as thick. So sometimes when you're just looking, you can't really tell. Sometimes you have to read the descriptions about the plants as well and do extra research. So if I had just posted it on a Facebook group and said, hey, what the heck is this? Then I would have gotten both of those probably as a response, and then I still would have had to go do the research. So do not ever rely on just one means as a way of identifying your plant because it could be wrong. So you want to verify and double check and use multiple sources to figure out which plant it is. Double check with your own eyes, okay? You can go ahead and type into Google. If you go on the Facebook groups and somebody gives you a name for your plant, you can go into Google and you type in that name and you verify that the pictures are matching up to what your plant actually looks like. Because again, sometimes people can just take a bad picture of their plant. I've done it. I do it all the time. Don't look at my early Instagram. I think I hid most of the bad ones, but it's true. Not everybody can take a really good picture of their photo, and if you're using a picture as the only means of identification, it may not be that great. If you are going to post on social media, try to make sure that you get a good picture, okay? Try to make sure that you're getting the stems, that you're getting a close-up of the leaves and the stems and the plants, and then you want to back out a little bit and never rely on just one picture for a photo identification as far as social media goes. Because like I said before, there is the mistakes there. So you just want to always double check and always verify. Yeah, so that way you can give your plants the best chance at a positive identification, and that way you can figure out their care. All right, and while you're waiting for your social media questions to be answered, if you posted in a Reddit or a Facebook group or something like that, what you can go ahead and do while you're waiting for that is if you happen to be near a library or you can digitally download library books, you can go ahead and flip through old houseplant books. A lot of them will have pictures, and then you can figure out which plant it is based on that. I know that's super old school and I'm talking crazy talk here, but there are plants that are not highly sought after, that they're not all over Instagram and Pinterest, that everybody doesn't know, but they were before. So if you look in these old houseplant books, you can kind of see that they're coming back into popularity and doing that whole cycle thing, and that way you can figure out what it is. All right, the last one. If you're just chilling and you have a bunch of time, or you're already in the neighborhood, you can go to your local nursery. Take your plant, go to your local nursery and ask. Ask them. They'll be happy to help. People who work with plants all the time, they're happy to discuss plants. And you might make some new friends. Just going and asking for help in a plant nursery, even if you didn't buy the plant there. I know a lot of people who work in greenhouses that are like, oh, okay, well, it's blah, blah, blah plant. This is a mainhair fern, and this is how you take care of it. And then, ta-da, now you know. Now you know how to take care of your plant. And you made a friend. So now you can go and you can shop there. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully these tips helped you. Comment down below which one of these tips you have used in the past or which one you plan on using. And if you want to tag me on Instagram with your mystery plants, I'd be happy to try to help them figure it out too. And we can chit chat about plants and it'll be fun. Yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day and a great week and all that. You know what? New Year's is coming up, so Happy New Year. We're finally leaving 2020, which was so wonderful. Oh my gosh. It will be very nice to leave 2020. Not that 2021 is going to be epically, awesomely so much better just because it's 24 hours, you know. Just because it's one TikTok that away. But, you know, we shall see. Hopefully the new year is better. So thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next one.